All right, friends, welcome to the channel. Always an honor and a privilege to be with you. I hope you're all doing great. Whew. We have a big one to unpackage today. Another city does what? It's biting the dust, man. I really want to sugarcoat this. I'm an industry guy. Love real estate. Own real estate. We'll take a hit in the next real estate downturn. What? Did he say next real estate downturn? We've always had booms and busts. Of course, I've said another real estate downturn. It's never been if. It's just when. It's just history. It's historical data. Booms and busts. We've always had them. Great Depression, 1929. The Great Financial Crisis, 2008. The Great Stimulus Crisis, 2024. Who knows? That could be, in fact, what we're up against next. But we got to continue to heat map and monitor the biggest asset class in the world, the U.S. housing market. That's why it attracts so much investor involvement, because people love to speculate in real estate. It's just always been the case. But unfortunately, when the real estate market exhibits bubble behavior, that's what we just had. I mean, it wasn't even a garden variety bubble. It's the biggest bubble ever artificially induced, courtesy of stimulus, ever witnessed in not world history, human history. Human history. Those are the waters we're navigating. And I'm pretty sure you watch at least some of the news, or at least some of the people giving honest, real takes, forward-thinking, critical thinking, a level-headed realist report on what's going on out there. You see, friends, I've never minimized the severity of the magnitude of a real estate crash. When we have another real estate crash, this would be the first time in history if we could stop it. So if you were a betting person, I don't know if you'd want to bet on that one. Every time the market exhibits bubble behavior, they've crashed. Every time they've crashed, they've thrust not only because we're talking the United States. See, you can have maybe another country's real estate market crash and not affect America, but because we hold the world's reserve currency at the moment, diversify. To have all your eggs in one basket, friends, or in one bank. Because if and when we lose that, it will cause the U.S. housing market will collapse. The whole global finance, it will collapse. Not only our economy, it'll have global ripple effects. That's the size, right? Another housing market can crash in wherever, UK or somewhere else. Yeah, I mean, we'll feel it a little bit here, but nothing like if the US one crashes. So we're seeing real estate's local. That's probably one of the first things you learn in real estate, or you've heard, is real estate's local. All areas behave differently. Some cost more, some cost less. Some had huge run-ups in the bubble. Some didn't really have huge run-ups. Anybody that had huge run-ups is the most exposed. So if you enjoyed, this was a bamboozle on so many levels, because for a lot of us, I never did this. Let me know if you did. I know many of you didn't. If you went and checked the value of your property, you felt rich. You're like, oh my God, look at our house. It's like it's a cash register. It's a slot machine that paid out at the casino. That's what happened to people in this stimulus. So if you had huge run-ups in your areas, it pains me to tell you this, you're in trouble. You are in massive trouble, and you don't need me to tell us. You already know this. Now, a lot of us are like, I'm just going around my day-to-day life, trying to keep up with bills and make it back to work, back to the office. They're having me back. But luckily, I got that new electric car. It's costing me a fortune, but I got it. That's what's going on now. So let's jump over to a city that exhibited massive run-ups. The scary part about it, I don't believe they did this in 2008. They joined the party. Let's jump over and take a look at just one of many cities here in America exhibiting bubble behavior. Then we're going to meet back here, wrap this one up. Let's get started. Welcome to Boise, Idaho, where the housing market got red hot, but now starting to turn ice cold. Now let's bring up our Boise, Idaho crash map, courtesy of our good friends over at Zillow. Everything on our screen going through the kiss of death, price reductions. Now let's jump over to today's featured property. After a hefty $155,000 price reduction, we're still stuck on the market with this 4-bedroom at $995,000. Now let's go ahead and take a little peek around. And here we go. Our stuck on the market house is a single family home in a typical neighborhood, clean, well appointed, but unfortunately got way too euphoric with their pricing and now can't get sold. Let's keep looking. Now let's read a little bit of our property description. Of course, it says it's in a great location, but it also says it's boasting new paint. Well, unfortunately, it's going to take a lot more than new paint to get this one sold. Uh-oh, our seller has a massive problem. They have a mid-range value at this property of $956,000. They're stuck on the market at almost $1 million. Their upper value range, and they just did a $155,000 price reduction in a declining market. Look at this area price chart. They're absolutely starting their downward trend, dropping off a cliff. Uh-oh, it gets better or worse, depending on how you look at it. If you were to give them today's asking price with the standard amount down at today's interest rate, your approximate cost to carry would be $6,275,000 a month. Now let's see what the property's rent range is. Uh-oh, buckle up and strap in. Our property's rent range is approximately $4,900 a month. This property doesn't even come close to penciling out yet. That tells me we have a lot more work to do. Let's get back to the studio so we can wrap this one up. Boomtown during the crisis, remote workers, California's migration. Now it's got a lot of reverse migration going, and their local economy never supported those run-ups. That's the challenge. This is the challenge now. You see, I believe the safest places in America, and I've shown you plenty, and I urge you, diversify yourself, get into some tangible assets. Real estate would be a great one, but not in an area like this. It pains me to say it. Now, if you're all cash, I'm riding off the sunset, I've got money to burn, I can't even spend it all in my lifetime, let's go to Boise and get you, Boise Hope. Happy to do it. But if you're like me, that actually wants to not lose their shorts in a downturn, I've done that before. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. I've seen this movie before. If you're buying now, my advice, unless you're a different type of buyer, everybody's different. That's why I would say get in the hands of a top agent that's willing to put your needs before their own. You never want an agent in worse shape than their clients. Many agents drink the Kool-Aid. They're in bad shape. A long-time experienced agent that's lived through a few bubbles that's not sugarcoating it as much as they want to due to sales meetings, telling them to say stupid things like date the rate, made of the house. If we can find you that guy, that's who you want. Somebody, there's no perfect agents, just somebody, right? And even if we have to knock them around a little bit to let them know they don't need to try that with us, that's fine too. We just need an agent to write our offers. But if you want any safety, in my opinion, you have to stick in or around there's a couple of metrics I'm looking at right now when it comes to real estate safety in the bubble environment, which is just scary in itself. If those homes are within the national average price, meaning I don't want to buy in the $1 million district right now. I don't want to buy in the dirtbag district necessarily, unless I can get it cash flowing quite nice. Then maybe I'd buy, some of these cheap properties, $10,000 for a Detroit, Michigan house or something like that. National average is where you want to live. Then standard amount down at today's interest rate, even if you're not pulling a mortgage or you're all cash or you're whatever. If you want to know how to buy a house, you need to make sure it pencils out. My cost to carry the house is within its rent range. Those are the only things I would do right now if I was buying within national average home prices, and does it pencil out? Now, if I'm outside, my area is, more than the national average, Scott, that's fine. Then you got to do one of the two. Make sure the property pencils out. You coming in with enough skin in the game to where you can weather a storm. You're going to have to pay for the cost to weather a storm. It means your cost to carry the property is below its rent range. It's costing you less to make your payment than it would to rent the house. That's another safety measure you can do. Otherwise, you just got to understand you're doing this. Let it ride. You're rolling the dice. You're rolling the dice, hoping this time is in fact different. Things will get better before they get worse. And you're rolling the dice. You get to decide if that's in fact the case. And final thoughts. I come to you as a friend, as a content creator. Somebody wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Understand, friends, the biggest artificially induced housing bubble ever produced in world history has some crash behavior written on it. Don't let anybody tell you different, please. Nobody has a crystal ball. No one can guarantee a crash or no crash. I've seen a lot of people guaranteeing no crash. Those are people that usually work in the industry that are forced to cheerlead these markets due to self-preservation. They have to. I think that's what you found here at this channel. I'm very diversified myself, and I could care less what real estate does. Really, at this point, I would prefer to see nothing catastrophic happen. I'm being complete. I don't want to live through a depression era. I've never done that. I've lived through a recession. But I don't rely on commission checks to pay my bills. Commission checks for me now are just stacking cash money. I have residual income, built-in income, investment income. So it allows me to run my mouth freely here and give it to you straight. Somebody who has financial gain in the biggest asset class in the world. To be willing to put you on the sidelines and earn your business later, or sacrifice the sale if I had to because a property didn't pencil out, or simply just tell you this is the risk right now if you buy. Do you understand that risk? Not telling you don't worry, just sign here. Pains me to know that a lot of you went out and did that. That's why I'm going to continue to blow the lid off this thing every step of the way, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. You appreciate the content. I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media link in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. It'd be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, I know you're going to love the next video, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. I'll see you on the next video.